Stealing Fire, which is the latest book that I've been obsessed with by Kotler and Wheal. It's actually their second book together. Their first book, which was the precursor to this one, it was where they were just brushing up the tip of the iceberg on this whole idea of this thing called flow. And I'll get into that, but their first book that they did was The Rise of Superman, Decoding the Science of Ultimate Human Performance. What a title. And that's whenever they were discovering this crazy data when they were looking at extreme sport athletes and seeing how they're entering a state of flow, where you guys know it as being in the zone or being in the pocket. When you're heating up or when you're on fire and everything, that is when you're experiencing a state of flow. Every sport, every hobby sometimes has its own term that they use, but the scientific term is flow. And this book is all about first discovering like how they got into the data, and then why within the past 15 years it has been evolving so much with the use of technology, being able to understand what's going on with our bodies and our brains on the inside. They use this acronym called STIR. S is for selflessness, the idea of removing yourself from the equation and taking out your own inner dialogue out of the situation. Timelessness, losing the effect of time, being so immersed into whatever it is that you're doing that all sense of time is gone. Effortlessness, obviously whatever you're doing coming with extreme ease. Richness, which means like information richness. So that means all the things that are coming in, you were just zero focus and you have that spidey sense. Getting into these altered states of consciousness, three ways. Things focused on time, things focused on risk, and things focused on reward. The whole idea is how to find your flow and what gives you flow, putting yourselves in activities or experiences that allow you to tap into your flow more. Because the more you can experience it, the more you have control over things that give you flow and what to do with it when you're in that moment, and then how to debrief it and everything. Really, they spend a lot of money on these altered states and seeing how it can benefit the human body. They spend over $4 trillion a year. The Navy SEALs, they have a mind gym, which is where they have those sensory deprivation tanks that you've seen on Stranger Things. So the military utilize those sensory deprivation tanks and they're able to experience an altered state of consciousness. They're able to experience parts of flow, and that is whenever they can't smell anything, they can't taste anything, they're floating in salt water and they can't hear anything, and all they're hearing is foreign languages. And they have actually been able to learn foreign languages 3 times faster than the average person. So the whole idea of it takes 10,000 hours to become a master at something, be in a state of flow and then learn the content, totally going beyond that whole 10,000 hours theory. And it's really saying like you can actually learn things 3 times as fast as long as you're in states of flow. And you know, that's whenever you have people like, you know, with the NBA finals on and you see LeBron James and Steph Curry, when they're on fire and when they're hot, they're in a state of flow. And the best thing you can do is feed them the ball. This isn't just sports. Sometimes when people give like phenomenal speeches and it was all off the cuff and then they come back down and you're like, dude, that speech was amazing. They're like, I blacked out. I don't even know what I said. Like, it was just rolling off the tip of my tongue. And you're like, yeah, well, you killed it. Whatever you did, like, you must have practiced or it must have been luck. No, it was flow. And what gives you flow? That's the biggest thing, is that you got to figure out what experiences give you that sensation, then seek those out. So try new things. That's why CEOs are always like learning new sports or going on adventures or traveling the world. It's because they're altering their states of consciousness constantly. The best thing you can do for yourself is continue to push yourself into these new areas and figure out what gives you this energy running through you, and utilize that. The first time whenever I heard Jason Silva talk about the book, he ended it with this Howard Thurman quote. Don't ask yourself of what the world needs. Instead, ask yourself what makes you come alive. Because what the world needs is more people who feel alive.